I don't even have my watch on. It is 10:30 where I am, and I hope you're having a great start to your day. I think we're live, but I'm not exactly sure yet. All right, it looks like we're good. Okay. On your end, somebody tell me when you get in the chat, just let me know how the volume is to make sure that we're getting the right amount of volume. I think we should be good. All right, let's talk about what we are going to do this morning. So another pop-up lesson. So I sent this out to our Chord Academy, to our All Access group, and several friends who are just on my close-knit email list. So I didn't send this out to everyone at iMusicAcademy, but this is live on YouTube as well. And what I want to encourage you guys today is we're going to talk about the power of three and some certain ways that I like to practice. And really, when you're doing things like Ray Charles licks and simple blues licks, you have to know a couple different fingerings for success. That's part of the reason why we steer clear of different keys. Like if you're in the key of B, let's just say we're doing Ray Charles lick and we go, you would slide up to those notes, but in the key of B you can't do that, right? You have to, if you go slide up, you have to roll up, and then you have to, instead of hammering on, you have to get to that note. So that's why we deal with this kind of thing, and I'm going to take you through all of that. So you're going to learn how to, so when you go to D flat, same thing. C, just a couple of different ways you have to learn how to do that. But that's not the main goal for today. The main goal is to use the power of three. That is a new course that I've been working on, and I'm probably going to release it in about 2 or 3 weeks. But most of the material is done of how. What do I mean by the power of three? This idea of you have three keys, three different ideas, three different licks, three different styles of piano. So when I say the power of three, I'm talking about you can break things down into small, manageable sections. So if I'm sitting around on a Saturday morning and I'm playing, maybe I want to do that where I go 3, 5, 4, 2, 3, 1, use the triad, get to that minor third to major third sound. So maybe I'm here and I'm doing something that's comfortable to me, right? And I can even go down that flat 7, and then I could go up a half step again. In its most basic form, I'm just going 3, 5, 4, minor third, major third of D flat, right? And if that feels foreign to me and not comfortable, I might spend a little time with that, but then I'm going to go back to C, especially if I need to hear it. Now I'll go up to D flat again. Let's go back to C. What about B? Okay, so if we're using this idea, we could do this on any kind of lick, any kind of run, any kind of idea, and even any kind of bass line. So right now I'm doing the very familiar root fifth to root sixth of whatever key you're in, but maybe we want to just do an arpeggio in the left hand. So C, G, up to B flat. So that gives us a C7, right? And I could just go for days. I could go. Now, from a visual standpoint, a couple of things I'm thinking here when I'm in the key of C. I'm thinking 5, 3, 2, 1. Every single key, that's going to work. And you're just thinking 4 on the floor here. In my right hand, I'm thinking C triad, but then I'm thinking 3, 5, 4. So I'm outlining the C triad. From a visual standpoint, that's really nice to look at. But also, I can go minor third to major third. So 3, 5, 4, 2, 3, 1 are my fingers. Now watch when I go up to D flat. go back down to C. That's not a bad thing to practice right there. I went down and I played the lick, and then I went down and did 3 up to flat 7, right? 2 and 3 and 4 and up to D flat. C. Let's go down to B now. So now this is a B7 arpeggio, and I visualize that B triad, and I go 3, 5, 4, 2, 3, 1. Let me do that again. So it's 3, 5, 4, 2, 3, 1, and I go. Let's go back to the regular bass line, just C, G, C, A, which you guys are familiar with. Here we go. All right, here we go. Let's keep going and moving down this idea of the power of 3. So we're doing C, D flat, back to C, and down to B. And if we're doing the Ray Charles thing, actually, let's do that in a minute. Let's do a couple more ideas. So what could you do if you're in the key of C and you're doing the power of 3? Maybe I want to do the C6 lick right here. That's just root, minor third to major third, then the 5th, the 6th note of whatever key you're in, and then the octave. So I could go... I could go to the flat 7, I could go, and the octave. Now when I go to D flat, remember I have to hammer on the minor third to major third. Back to C. Okay, now I'm going to go down a half step. So to B, here we go. Hammer on. So part of this idea of the up-down approach is I always say that you can usually do every key by doing 2 fingerings at most. Well, I say at most. Sometimes there are alternate fingerings that are 2 or 3 different fingerings to play something in all keys. But for the most part, a lot of these blues scales and licks and things that you do in jazz runs, you can do with 2 fingerings. And so as we do something that's familiar, especially something like C up to D flat down to B, you're going to have different fingerings for each lick. So this idea of if I do the C6 lick, I'm sliding on the key of C, right? E flat to E, but then I'm hammering on that minor third to major third. But the good news is that once you learn the hammer-on fingering of taking minor third to major third, then it's just easy on any key you're in. You could be in E, you can be in F sharp, you could be in G, it's a slide. A flat is a hammer-on. A is a hammer-on. B flat's a slide. B is a hammer-on. So I'm going to isolate that and practice that. Flat 7. Again. Again. And right there, I'm just going up to the 6th note. So sometimes I might go up to the flat 7, and sometimes I just want to go back up to the 6th. I'll do it in C. You can see it visually. Flat 7, B. All right, let's go back to C. And now I want to show you something really important here. When it comes to certain licks like the C6 lick, you have options. I can go 1, 2, 3, 5. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and open up the hand. The other thing you can do is like, you can do that. You can go 1, 2, 4, 4. I'll do it in C so you can see this. Instead of doing your pinky on G sharp, sometimes people will do this. They'll go. I think I do 5, the pinky on G sharp. So you see the difference there. So this is a good example of if you're playing in the key of B, you have to know these different things, these different way of playing these simple licks and ideas. Now let's talk about a couple other very simple ideas, and we're going to put this all together in something that's going to help you in any key. So you have this idea of da 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 dum. Well, one of my favorite things to teach students is that you go up to the flat 7, da da ba da 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 dum bum. So you go up to the flat 7 of C, and you go ba da 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 ba bum, or B ba da 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 bum. Okay, so you have 4, 3, 2, 1, or in C we go da 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 da. Now watch when I go to B. I can hammer on. I mean, I can go right to it. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1. But I have to hammer on if I want that 2, 3. C. So you notice that I did this. We had this. Right? I love the sound of the triad and go down to 6, 5 and root. That's a nice sound. Da, 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 da. So we have this. Sorry for diva. Notice the difference in the fingering, right? I'm not doing for C, I'm doing C, I go 2, 3, and then I go major third. So notice that I transitioned into this right here. But on D flat, I'm starting with 4, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? So let's do that. Let's do it in B. If I go here, I have to go here we go. See, if I needed to get to that minor third to major third instead of the slide, I'm going to crunch on, I'm going to hammer onto that. So even there, when I went up to the F sharp, I kind of slipped off a little bit. And that's why we have to practice this over and over, because your pinky is going to be a little bit less, it's more on the skinny side, right? And not a lot of meat on the bone to get to that F sharp. So you have to be pretty precise. And that's why we practice things like this. All right, now what did I do right there? I did the lick from Blues Volume 1. But what's interesting about that, if I'm in C and I go, everything fits right under the hand. 5, 4, 5, and I could go 3, 2, 1. But watch this, if I'm in the key of D flat and I go, it doesn't fit under the hand the same way. So how do I do it? Even this is risky. 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, that takes a lot of precise aiming there to get to that, right? So what I would do instead of that is go 2, 3. 2, 3, I'm sorry, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2. And then I cross over. As opposed to this. See how much there's more room for error. Hey, Bill, good to see you. Yeah, Bill, I included you on the list this morning. I wanted you to make sure you got this email. I hope things are going well for you. Hope you're having fun practicing. See that fingering right there? I go 3, 2, 3, 1. There's my minor third. Da, 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 da. Okay, now I just showed you this idea of how nice this fits under the hand on C. And how you can use this. You practice that for days, but then when you go up a half step, I would recommend this fingering 2 to 3. 3, 2, 1. Now, the main thing is on that is I want you to notice that as you learn these different fingerings, those will start to apply the same kind of fingering no matter what key you're in. It's just the difference between a hammer-on and a slide. Watch what happens when I go down to the key of B. You're welcome for that, Bill. It's good to have you. I've been wondering what you've been up to, and you know, if you ever feel like, I know at one point you were considering maybe being a part of one of our groups. My hope is at some point you might do that, but there's never any rush for me. But I do think we're having a lot of fun. You seem like the right, perfect fit for our groups. All right, let's go down to B. Watch this. So what I'm doing here is, if I go, that's the 6th note. So now I'm here. And once again, you have that risky thing where you go 4, 3, 4, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's going to be hard to do. See how hard that is to do the same thing. But part of the reason people shy away from keys like B and all the other keys that don't flow under the hand, especially for piano, is because you just have to have a different way of looking at it. Instead of this 4, 1, 4, 3, 2, which is going to be very risky, I'm going to do the same thing. 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1. Then I just cross over and go back to the 5, 1. Again, sorry. See how much easier that is? What's up, Vance? Good to see you. Vance is a member of our newest thing at iMusicAcademy, and that is our online academy for YouTube. Bill says, just got back spending a week down in Georgia. Awesome. Very, very cool. Yeah, so Vance is a member of our YouTube channel, which is very cool. We started with 7 people. Like the very first day I launched it, and I said, I'm telling you guys, you get tons of stuff. And Vance will tell you that membership is loaded down, and at this point I've just been giving all the different tiers the same thing for the time being, and really enjoying what we're doing there. But it's loaded, and what I'm going to do, even with this stream, after we get done with the stream, I'm going to move this thing to the membership area. But my hope is that people will take us up on that. I might leave it up for a few hours or something like that. But anyway, that's a very affordable way to get in on the inside until you can decide, do you want to be a member of the All Access or the Chord Academy, or maybe you just want to buy a few courses, or maybe you don't want to do anything but practice and hang out. You can do that too. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see you, Vance. Vance is the poet who lets you know it. Hey, we've been missing you, Vance, the last couple of days on our streams, but I know you'll get caught up. All right, so back to this thing right here, and I encourage anybody. We have 6 people watching. I'm always very open with everything. When I say that you get a ton of stuff for the academies, I mean it. Vance will tell you that, and even Bill, who's not a member of anything yet, knows that I go above and beyond for you guys. I love when people practice, and here's the thing. When I launched the online YouTube membership, and all you have to do is hit join, and you'll see, and you could decide which tier you want to do. But like I said, I've been giving everybody the same thing, that first musician tier all the way up to the elite. I've just been putting a ton of resources for you guys and streams and things. But I started out, and the very first day we had within the first week, we had 7 people. Those people are still, nobody has dropped off, and but nobody has added since then. I don't go out and I don't advertise it all the time. But now I'm saying, imagine how nice this would be for me and for us if I get more people to join our online academy on YouTube. I think it would be really helpful. So anyway, that's my plea of saying I'm looking for the next person who will go to hit join and join our membership for the YouTube. You're going to find that you're going to love it. It's really cool, and you get a little thing by your name. Oh, maybe Vance is the first person who is not a member anymore, because he doesn't have his little star on your name. That's pretty funny. Okay, now let's keep going. So this idea of that works. When you have those slide keys. Now watch this. You have the key of B, and I'm going to do the same thing. And you go here. And the only reason I can do that is this idea of 2, 3. 1, 3, 2, 1. And back to C. Okay, so let's talk about a few other things. Now, what I'm just doing right there, all I was doing was our simple bass line of root 5th to root 6th, and this idea of da 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 bum, right? 3, 5, 4, 2, 3, 1, and I'm visualizing the triad. That is a great thing, because I want you to watch what's happening. If I'm visualizing this C triad, I go 3, 5, 4, 2, 3, 1, ba da 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 ba da 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 da. That right there is a great visual, because I can go to any key and think about the triad. If I'm on F, I'm thinking of that F triad. If I'm on B flat, there's my B flat triad. If I'm on E flat, if I'm on A flat, D flat. And all I think about is I visualize the triad, and I go, all right, my middle finger starts the lick, an idea. Okay, now, this is really important. If you go C, down 3 half steps, and I have the A blues scale, the first four notes of the A blues scale. This is one of the best little tricks and ideas. You can use it in blues and in jazz, and it sounds amazing. So you take, if you're in the key of C, go down 3 half steps, and I can go right here. There's my major third of each chord. So watch what I did there. I just went down to 3 half steps down and played the first note, 4 notes of the A blues scale, and then I can also do this. Da, 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 da. So I have the tension of that minor third, but occasionally I want to hit that little major third, right? And I'm going to go over this in the key of Desi. What's going on? Good to see you. Always love it when you get in our streams. Listen how nice that is. Okay, now imagine if we're working on our up-down approach. And so far we have some really simple licks, but because I'm playing them right now, when I get in the flow, I'm playing them more in a way that I might practice them if I'm playing them a little bit quicker. But I always teach things very slow. And when I show you this right here, that's right out of Blues Volume 1. And when we do the Academy licks, we're doing all of these things. Repetition is your friend, very important. So I'm not just showing you a bunch of licks that I never talk about. We talk about them all the time. And if I also talk about this, I have several little jazz prodigy students that are in going to college, in high school, and in college. And actually, I say several. It's like under 5 right now, but they're really amazing kids. And the main thing is I'm often showing them things that will help them in any key. And when I tell them this, I'm telling you the same thing that I tell them. Things like this. The flat 7, da 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 da. I've had students have breakthroughs for things like that because they start to really hear how the language works and how the chord tones, when you're outlining those things like the flat 7 and the minor third and the major third, it really helps you outline the changes. It really makes you feel good. You go dee da 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 da. I'm also having them sing their lines. Boo da 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 da. Da 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 da. Hey Vicky, thank you, Vicky. Vicky just donated $2 to our stream. Vicky, that's very nice and awesomely generous. Thank you so much. That's very nice. Yeah. So Vance, you no longer have your Thank you, Vicky, for that. You no longer have your badge. What happened? Let me go back here. Vicky, that's very nice. Okay, back to this idea, everyone. So this idea of dee da 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 da, when I go dee da 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 da, watch what happens. When I go to F, same thing. Right? Doesn't matter the key, I go to that. Can you imagine the kind of confidence you start getting when you start taking these simple ideas and playing them in different keys? Watch, we go. Again. in that flat 7, even that. And then I could come down. So I'm really getting those chord tones together. So what if I'm in a different key, if I'm up a half step and I go, right? Different fingering. I have to go. All right, now, on a more simple idea, imagine this. If I go down to B flat and I do, which is down 3 half steps from my key. So C down to A. This right here, when I go up to D flat, up a half step, I think of the first 4 notes of the B flat blues scale, right? So I can go. Now, when I go to that G flat, I can use the same thing. All right, a little fun fact. Now, if you're enjoying this stream, please let me know. Again, I go live all the time for you guys, and I'm in the studio. It's a Saturday. It's a pop-up lesson. We have our academies, we have our All Access Academy, we have our Chord Academy, and now we have a YouTube channel. I am looking for the next person to join our YouTube channel, and I promise you, you will definitely, you'll get so much information just like we're doing right now. As soon as we're done with this stream, maybe after a couple hours, I'll move this to members only. And I've been doing so many teaching things, PDFs, you name it, and Vance will tell you, and Vicky will tell you that. All right, yeah, I don't know what's up. I was going to brag on you, Vance, to say, hey, because if you're a member, you have a badge, but Vicky has a badge, and your badge went away, so I don't know what happened. But but anyway, thank you again for the donation, Vicky. Vicky's always so awesome. I will say this is a little fun fact, but one of my family members is a streamer, and they make, this is crazy. Well, they're let me just say this. It's a ridiculous amount of they make a lot of money doing their streams, right? And they do it because they love it, but they make an insane amount. And I jokingly say, well, you know, occasionally I'll sell a course, and I'm very thankful that I have our All Access Academy, and then the Chord Academy, All Access, and then now we have our YouTube channel, which has 7 members. But I'm not at all saying that's a bad thing. That's really awesome. To have 7 members is really cool. But my hope is one day to be able to do this. You know, my next career would be to be able to do this stuff. So I'm hoping we really build this out. So if a good starter thing would be to join our academy. This little thing right here, just hit the join button. You'll see all these perks. And Vance says, yes, there's been a lot of confusion about your YouTube account. Yeah, man, I miss seeing your badge. I know you haven't dropped out. But anyway, so I'm looking for the next person to go for it. You will be so happy when you do. And we have a really awesome community. We have Vance, Vicky, and a bunch of other people, and they're all so nice. Doesn't matter if you're a member of All Access, Chord Academy, or the YouTube channel. Everyone, you're a part of the family, and it's gonna be awesome. So I'm looking for the next person. Can you join again? You can always join again. That's my dad. He's already a member of 2 things. He's a member of Chord Academy and All Access, which if you're a member of All Access, you don't have to join again, which is a little fun fact. We're going to get back to the teaching here in a second. But I went to see, randomly went to lunch with my dad, and I walk in, and he's got this big screen TV there, and I hear my voice. And so he had this lesson from yesterday from our group up on the big screen TV. That was a little strange and awesome. No, so he's a member of the All Access Academy. He's not a member of the YouTube channel. So, but I've had people do everything where they're a member of All Access. They get to be they decide to join Chord Academy 2, and they join the YouTube channel. So, okay, let's get back to work here. I'll be excited though, and I always do a fun shout out for anybody who signs up, so we'll see what happens. You can't join again unless you have already... That's true. You can't join again unless you've already joined. Yeah, part of the problem is that I have a YouTube channel now that has a membership as well. So I have multiple things you can be a member of. So that's part of the confusion there. But I'm really excited about our YouTube channel. Like, it's awesome. I didn't think it would be this cool, but if I want to go live there, I just go members only, and you'll see the badge there, and all the PDFs are easy to put in there. And anyway, it's really cool. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, Dad's very supportive, and he practices a lot too. I came over the other day and he was doing like this. All right, now I'm going to go over, before we get off this lesson here, I'm going to show you guys a reminder of the blues scale for C, D flat, and blues scale fingering, and that for B as well. And I want you guys to know, speaking of joining the YouTube channel, is I put a video in there yesterday of all keys training for both hands in all keys. Because the fingering is different when you go up to D flat. And the fingering is the same for D. So just know that when you join, you get things like that. I mean, imagine if you can play your blues scales in all keys. That's pretty cool. And part of the reason we learn how to do things like this, where we learn our blues scales in all keys, is another course that I'm working on is a unison course. So teach you how to play in unison. So when I'm doing all these Oscar Peterson style licks and runs and things, we're doing, the reason that I can play those is because I practiced different patterns and how to keep the hand and the fingers under each other as I go up and down the keyboard. And that is from doing all these things where I'm practicing both hands together. But notice that my hands, as I do even this, all the fingers are under each other. You know, like the hand works with however you flow over the keyboard. And so anyway, that's just a little fun fact, but all keys training is in the membership area. All right, here we go. So a couple more things we have to do. We're dealing with this. The first thing is, you know that for a C blues scale fingering, we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. So we have this. And I'm just kind of on automatic pilot on purpose. I'm just doing the blues scale. Notice that when I went and I was playing this right here, I'm just using the blues scale and going up and down and turning it around. We're about to do it in a D flat, and then we'll go down to the key of B. But it's a really good skill to practice playing your blues scale in different octaves and turning it around in different ways. And notice that when I did this C blues scale fingering, my key that I like you to visualize that F sharp is sort of your transition fingering. It's like, because this helps get me into the first 4 notes of the blues scale, so I could go. And I can do triplets right right now is doing triplets, 1 and then 2 and 3, but I don't have to do that. I can go. But then I went to this. With all of this, we know that we have our minor blues scale, and that's going to sound fantastic. It'll work over all 3 chords, but it is really important to get a little major third action in. Every now and then, like we could do this for days, top half of the blues scale. And that's going to sound great, but occasionally you want to hear that major third. Listen right. Right there, I just went blues scale, minor third to major third. Now I'm on the top half. So right there I went the third of G, third of F. Okay, now let's talk about the different scale fingering for, that's C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. Now for D flat, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I told you guys this is important to know, is that there's a really cool thing that happens when you're doing your blues scales, right? We had this idea of 1, 2, 3, and then my finger comes under 1, 2, 3. And it's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all the way up. When you get to the very top, you have your 4th finger on the top note. And then you come back down, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. That's the way it works, but watch this. If you go, you start on 4 in the left hand, but then it's 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and only when you get to the top, you end on 3, 2, 1. So what's interesting is you start with your 4th finger, and then whenever you're done with the octaves on your right hand, you're on the 4th finger up at top. But the rest is just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. As a matter of fact, Vicky and I yesterday started working on picture chords, and we did scale fingerings for the all keys, like for both hands and all keys. All right, so a couple things you need to know related to that is I did D flat, right? And you get that scale, and I would practice that up and down. And just go 1 octave, but then when you feel like you can do it, you're going to go, and it starts over 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is really nice that it does that. But then how are you going to build some success is if you say, all right, here's the blues scale in D flat. Like, who would have thought you've been playing in D flat, right? A lot of us at times, we've all been afraid of playing in D flat and other keys like that. But then we already said that you can go down 3 half steps and play the first 4 notes of the B flat blues scale. Now you have this. Even when I go to G flat. What's the 5 chord is A flat, 4 chord, And we already dealt with this. 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 4, right? Or we can do this. We've already worked on that. Blues scale. Now watch this. We can do a simple bass line. Now, let me say a couple more things about this, and we're going to go to B, and then we'll be done. Is that when you're playing like in D flat, remember that this is not like you have to get it right away. It's going to take some time, like getting used to hammering on. If you're used to sliding, hammering on to the minor third to major third takes a little work. And then you have to decide which fingering do you like. Do you like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, or do you like 1, 2, 4, 5, 5, or this? I use 1, 2, 4, 5, 5. So even that right there, notice that I went ba da 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 da, which is just like this in C. Or I could just blues scale. Okay, now let me refresh this just to see how many likes we have in this video right now. And I see an ad is coming up right now, but that's okay. All right, we can do better than that. If only 3 people have liked this, that's kind of sad. Yeah, so there are some tricky things related to this up-down approach. I get it, right? A little bit tricky. Now watch this. We're going to go down to B, and I just want you to get used to this idea of da 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 3 5 4 2 3 1. Now notice that I did the B triad, right? Just like I did C. And then I said you can go down 3 half steps from B, and what do you get? G sharp, right? And I do the first 4 notes of G sharp. That'll work over the entire B blues. Same thing on the E. Let's say I've been doing that for a while and I need to go back to something comfortable. So even licks like that, they're kind of fancy there. A lot of Southern Baptist churches play that in D flat. Yeah, play in D flat. Yep, and that's good. That's good to learn in D flat. Now, even this lick that comes from Blues Volume Volume 2 right here, if you try to play that in D flat and you use this fingering 3 and 5, that's a recipe for disaster. Watch. Again. Now I can play it because that's when I first started learning that kind of idea. I played it like that, and the danger is crossing over with 3 and 5 right there. Your pinky will give you trouble in the heat of the moment. So there are certain fingerings for certain licks that you want to do different fingerings. So what I do is 2-4 there. See, much more secure there. And on B, same thing. I use 2-4 there. I could go. Yeah, that's all keys there. Now, it's just interesting because you could play all the way through with the 3 and 5 on top for a lick like that. But there are certain things that you need to work on with your pinky. Instead of the pinky, you're going to use 2 and 4. So that's where I come in. For all the things I've done right and wrong, right? I'm going to tell you ways to make it easier for you. All right, we've covered a lot of material. What questions do you have? Anybody have any questions before we jump off today? What questions do you have? Yes, I'm still showing that we have our 7 members. I was hoping that somebody would understand how awesome it's going to be when you join our YouTube channel. Yes, go ahead. Dad must be so proud of you because you're very gifted. Oh, thank you very much. That's very nice to say, Vance. Yeah, my dad is awesome. As a matter of fact, he has a grand piano, and all he does is, what he did is always played, just sight read everything. And so, even though I didn't start music until college, I think I always had those songs in my mind. Oh, thank you very much. That's really nice, Vance. Yeah, I think I was subliminally learning these songs and didn't even know it. Yeah, they're both very musical. I mean, he is James Taylor, right? But thank you for the nice compliments, everyone. That's very nice. You know, I think that when I started learning again, I started late, so for me, it's sort of learning how to practice and to get better, and I think that's what I love. Why I love to teach people, because I think like it's an overwhelming thing. Bill will tell you, right? Bill, like we want to get everything down and conquer the world and get good, and it can be overwhelming, all the different things there are out there, right? That's why sometimes that's why I like to break things down into shapes. Like I love to teach people how to read music, of course. And if you know, I have tons of resources written out, and you guys know that I have books, I have courses, I have all kinds of detailed PDFs. But I also think shapes are really important. That's why I came out with a shapes course. I've done multiple shapes courses. And when I do something like this, I say, all right, C triad. Everybody can grasp that C triad. And you say, all right, if I go da 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 dum, this right here, that's a visual to give you something good right there, right? And when I say, all right, you can learn the first 5 notes of the blues scale. And of course, you can learn the blues scale, but even these first 5 notes, for days, I could go. I mean, that's blues right there, right? Even when I go to the F chord, I could go there. Yeah, that's right. No, he's the original James Taylor. He'll tell you that. Right? So even that right there, first 5 notes, right? And then if I said, all right, Vance, Bill, T-Man, if you went down 3 half steps from C and you play the first 5 notes of that blues scale, now it gives you a whole set of material right there where you go. And you show up to play a blues and they say, what key you're in? You're like, all right, let's do a simple blues. Even as a beginner, now you're not going to get that many opportunities necessarily, but let's just say you show up and somebody says, oh, can you play the blues? And you're like, okay, let's do a C blues. And you know that these first 5 notes are going to work. And we build up that shape. Then you go down to A and you do the same 4 notes. You go, any of the notes will work. I just did the major third. Let's do that again. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and... Now, even on this improvisation, I'm showing you first 5 notes of the blues scale. you can go down 3 half steps and play the same blues scale or the same pattern, but now you're on the A blues scale. And then you learn about the Ray Charles down home idea of this idea of like how to go 1, 2, 2, 4, 5. So I can go for days. I could go. Now this is the tricky part that you have to just learn how to do. I've shared with you the story as a classical person. Well, even though I was classical and I started in college, right away I was trying to do Bill Evans voicings and things. So this idea of sliding off 3 to 3 was very foreign to me. And it'll be to you as well if you're not used to it. And even this idea of when I go, right, 3, 3, you have to get used to it. And I call it the down home fingering. And even 2 to 2, I like going 1, 2, 2, 4, 5, and then watch. This just takes a little bit of work. Again. Even when I go to the F chord. Let's do that again. Here we go. Let me go simple. Ray Charles. And all I'm doing there is blues scale. All right, so going back to the idea of feeling overwhelmed at times, that's why I love to teach the 5 notes of the blues scale. And then you can say all the different ways you can turn it around. Then lay out like a little space. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Back to the blues scale. Here we go. So a couple of things on the first 5 notes of the blues scale. Imagine if you just did this right here. And you did this one. We'll call that step 2, okay? And then you have those 2 ideas. And then you have the top half of the blues scale, which is this, the 5th, the flat 7th, the minor 3rd, and the 5. I'm going to do this again because I'm going to make a note for you guys to remember. Is we're going to say shape 1, and then we'll call shape 1B the same shape, but on the A note. Okay, let me do this again. So shape 1 and 1B, and then we're going to do the top half of the blues scale, top half, and then we're going to do blues scale, and then we're going to do Ray Charles. And then there's one more, actually 2, I'm going to give you 2 more. We're going to go C6, and we're going to go blues example 1. All right, let me play this for everyone. So shape 1 is the first 5 notes. Remember that you can go for days. You can go. Every note's going to work over every chord. Okay, we know that. Shape B will be down here. Vicky, are you still here? Again, thank you for your donation, by the way. I love it when somebody wants to just anytime. And now Vicky doesn't have to be doing that. She does it anyway. But just when you guys know that even your generous donations, I have a new way for anybody who's new and not familiar with anything, and you'd like to donate just for all the content that you get, all the free training. You just hit. There's a link here. I remember that I'm supposed to tell you guys that there are ways you can donate. It says you can now donate here to support the live stream, and it's Streamlabs. It's a very clean, very secure way to go with PayPal and other things, and you can donate any amount, and it'll say, like, it'll ring, bring, so and so is donated. Now people can donate through the chat, like super chats and all that. You can do that as well. But I always like it when people can use the new donate here to support the live stream. It's Streamlabs. It's just a little link. But there are a lot of expenses with iMusicAcademy, but just like everybody else, everybody has expenses and things. But let me show you this real quick. But yeah, I just want to make sure I thanked Vicky for the donation, and I always tell you guys I appreciate that. But let's say you had blues example 1, you had the 1B, which is going to be the A blues scale, so still the same shape, and then the top half of the blues scale. Remember that to play the top half of the blues scale, whatever blues scale you're doing, your middle finger will go on whatever key you're in. In this case, we're in the key of C. Middle finger goes there. Your thumb naturally hovers over the 5th. Your index finger hovers over the flat 7, and your pinky can hover over the minor 3rd. So all those notes are going to work over the blues. I could go for days. I could go. Now watch when I go to the F chord. And 2 and 3. Even when I go to the G. Again. So all I did is I was here doing the top half of the blues scale. Okay, so that's your next idea. And then I have your Ray Charles idea. Is getting that minor 3rd to major 3rd sound. So right here. I'm going to show you in just a second. Okay, so the next thing is the C6 lick, and that's simply this: minor 3rd to major 3rd, the 5th and the 6th. And I've been playing that kind of idea, and even it's in Blues Volume 1, maybe 1 or 2. It's in one of those, and it's this idea of sliding the minor 3rd to major 3rd. But then you have the 5th and the 6th note, which are so important in our blues playing. Even when I do this 6-5 root. So this idea of the C6 lick, right, I could do this for days. We go. Or this. And I think not Ray Charles, who does this? Somebody does it on a famous recording. Who is it? Lots of people do it on a famous recording. come to me in a minute. All right, here we go. Yes. And so that's another thing that when you that you need to know is that when there are minor third to major third licks, this is just a really important thing that you need to know, that you can always go to that key, F, and do a minor third to major third lick there. And the same thing on G. I can hit that minor third to major third. So when you hear me doing this all the time and I go, all it is minor third to major third. And because I'm on that chord, I can go there and do that as well. Right? I'll demonstrate that right here. F, here we go. Okay, so that covers that right there. The next one and the last one for this lesson, is blues example 1. The most famous lick at iMusicAcademy, blues. It's the very first example from Blues Volume 1, and it's on the video that we did that went over 1 million views. I don't even know how many it has now, but that was it took several years to get there. But anyway, that was the first 1 million view video. And it's this right here, and then it does a diminished lick, and then it has this one. So it's 3 different licks in one. Once again, the power of 3. But this idea of, and that's the minor third to major third, so it satisfies this blues scale with that minor third, and also gives you the freedom of the E flat to E. So when I go to the F, I can do the same thing. Same thing here. Let me demonstrate that. Let's do that again. Here we go. Notice how I can do the minor third to major third. Now, there are a couple of licks that are in there. It's like Blues Volume 1, and what's so nice about those is I think it might be even in Blues Volume 1 that goes C7. You don't have to go up here like this. You can actually go, remember that one? right, now, the reason I wrote out those ideas is because if you took one of those ideas, or how many ideas were that? Let's see, 1 idea, 2, 3, 4. That's really 5 ideas. One of them was just in a different, so C down to A, but 5 ideas. And then you learn those ideas and you say, all right, the first one was shape 1. You guys can do this for days. Then you want to push it, you go up a half step. Automatic pilot. Back to C. Going down to B. Then you say, all right, the second one was top half of the blues scale. We go. Go down to B. Then I'll go down to the next one to be Ray Charles. Now when you go up to the next key up, you have to hammer on. That's a little bit tricky, right? That is. Then you go back to this here, and then you're going to go down. But once you get that pattern down, it's the same thing for all the other keys, and then you have C6. All right. Anybody resonating with that? All right, now as we wrap up, I'm going to give you one other fun little way to practice this. If I did just like that, I'm going to go 3, 5, 4, 2, 3, 1. That gives you the minor third to major third. I actually do. Let's go down here. 6, 5 root. right, that's really, really good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you one more because I'm on a roll here. I'm going to have to write some of these out for you guys. All of these are written out in some way, but I think there are ways that we can even do them as exercises. Here's your last one, is this. I say the last one. If there's one thing you know about me, if I say 5 more minutes or as we wrap up, I rarely mean it. I have good intentions, I promise. All right, and watch this exercise. I call this a lick exercise, but one of my favorite things to teach because I have so many things I like to teach. But one is this. If we're in the key of C and we know our C major scale, and we go up C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and we think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. If we do C octave and we do the flat 7, we know that's going to work, right? And then we can come down. The 6th note often really works in our blues playing, jazz playing, whatever. And then you could go the flat 6. That actually comes in handy a lot too. And then you can get back into your blues shapes. You have this. Now, we have 6 people watching now, of course, and Vance is a member, and he's, for some reason, his star is not working right now, but Vicky's star is working. That is one thing that if you want to support the channel, my hope is to have 1 million people at some point as members of our YouTube channel. All right, let's maybe be more realistic. Let's say 900,000. So whenever you do support the channel, you hit join, and then you become a member of the thing. Not only do you get lots of really, really amazing stuff like videos like this, you also get a very cool star that goes by your name. So just remember, like Vicky has, I'm always looking for the next person that has the star. Go for it. You're gonna be glad that you did. All right, so here we go. This idea of octave, flat 7, 6, flat 7, and then you're in your 5-note blues pattern. So we have this. Imagine our ear training when we do this, right? Now I'm going to go up the half step. That's the first 5 notes of the blues scale. Then the octave for D. Now I'm going to go up another half step. Make sure that I have my E flat scale. Then I do the lick. My hands are starting to get tired. Let's go E. idea of that is when you're getting your improv ideas together, not only are you getting like a crazy workout, you're getting ear training in too. Root, flat 7, 6, flat 6, and then you get into that 5-note blues pattern. All right, guys, you have 1 minute to say goodbye to each other for this stream, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, I could make a whole song out of that lick. Which one? This one right here? Is that one right there? Very good. Yeah, start simple, have fun with it. Awesome. I'm glad you found it helpful. I'm really impressed that you guys stayed around for this long lesson. All right, we'll see if anybody else joins our new YouTube channel. We'll see. And then I am moving the video over there. So have a good one, and we'll see you in the next one. Good to see you. As we always do, we say goodbye to each other. So make sure you say goodbye to everyone. Now, I see on here, Desi was in here earlier, and I also saw where Dave P slipped in. Let me see where I see that. Or Dave P came in. That's interesting. Dave P is famous at iMusicAcademy. He is an all access member, and oh man. So shout out to Dave, to Bill, to Vance, to T-Man, to Vicky, and to Desi for sure. And anyone else, man, we miss Dave. Dave P is the one who wrote, or actually wrote for him, but it's, how'd it go? Dave's leaving on a plane. It's so much faster than the train. They tried to tell him it's the same. I tried my best to explain that Dave's leaving on a plane. Yeah, Dave P has his own song, and like everyone else at iMusicAcademy who's an all-access member, and we wrote Dave's Leaving on a Plane. He's famous around the world. He was playing golf, and he was on the tarmac, and he joined in for this iMusicAcademy stream, and so anyway, we wrote a blues for him. All right, guys. Yeah, Dave's probably out now. He's probably playing golf right now. Anyway, all right, guys. Great lesson today. That's right. Dave's Leaving on a Plane. As a matter of fact, I need to put that... Vance, help me remember. I'm going to put that in the sheet music in the membership area.